I wasn't planning on going to war with my HOA, honestly. I just wanted tomatoes that didn't taste like cardboard and maybe a couple cucumbers for my daughter's science project. What I didn't expect was a $20,000 fine taped to my front door like a parking ticket from hell. The fine? Unauthorized structure, backyard greenhouse. Yep, a $20,000 violation for a 6-foot glass greenhouse I bought off Facebook Marketplace. At first, I thought it was a mistake. I even laughed. Then I read the rest of the letter. They weren't joking, they were serious. Let's rewind a bit. My name's Max. I'm a single dad. I work remotely as a tech consultant, and I've lived in this HOA-run suburban jungle for 6 years. Our house sits on a decent-sized lot, but the HOA Maple Trails Estates is run by people who treat shrub placement like it's a national security issue. But I kept my head down, paid my dues, mowed my lawn, waved at neighbors. Then one day, my daughter, Ellie, came home from school talking about climate change and growing your own food. She was fired up, and honestly, it got me thinking. I figured building a small greenhouse would be a cool weekend project. We'd grow veggies, save a little on groceries, and have something to bond over. The greenhouse was a prefabricated kit. Glass panels, aluminum frame, 6 by 10 feet. I put it right in the back corner of our fenced yard out of sight, nothing obnoxious. We planted cherry tomatoes, basil, and a lemon tree that promptly died, but hey, we were learning. 3 weeks later, I came home to that stupid letter. It was signed by Sharon Culpepper, the HOA president. If you've ever seen a woman marching across a lawn with a clipboard and rage in her eyes, that's her. She's got this permanent, "I'm disappointed in you" face, like she's the regional manager of everyone's life. I called the number on the letter and got her voicemail. I left a polite message. No call back. So I emailed. Still nothing. Then, 3 days later, I got another notice. Final warning: greenhouse must be removed within 7 days or fines will accrue. They'd already applied a $500 administrative charge. That's when I started reading. I pulled out the community's covenants, conditions, and restrictions, CC and RS, the HOA bylaws, the architectural review policies, all of it. I went full paralegal. And guess what? There was a section on accessory structures, including greenhouses. It said they were allowed if they didn't exceed 100 square feet, were not visible from the street, matched the aesthetic integrity of the property. I checked all the boxes. My structure was 60 square feet. It was hidden behind my house and a 6-foot privacy fence. I even painted the base to match the house trim. I printed the pages, highlighted everything, and emailed them with photos. 1 day later, boom, another fine. This time it jumped to $2,500. Apparently, my interpretation of the bylaws was incorrect, and they decided my greenhouse was permanent construction. At this point, I wasn't even mad. I was impressed by the sheer audacity. So I stopped playing defense. I filed a formal appeal under their dispute resolution policy, which, fun fact, they never expected anyone to actually read. The bylaws said disputes had to be reviewed at a hearing within 30 days, with both parties present. I requested the hearing, sent in documentation, and here's the kicker: submitted a public records request to the county to get all approved architectural additions in our neighborhood. That's when I struck gold. Turns out, 2 board members had pergolas in their backyards way larger than my greenhouse. No permits, no approvals. And Sharon? She had a hot tub built on a concrete slab 2 years ago that definitely qualified as permanent construction. So I compiled a little packet. Timeline, photos, county documents, screenshots from their own HOA newsletter bragging about outdoor upgrades. The hearing was held in the community clubhouse. Classic folding chairs, lukewarm coffee, and 5 board members who clearly expected to rubber stamp my fine. I walked in with a binder, Ellie at my side, and a calm, rehearsed explanation. I quoted the CC and RS, showed compliance. Then I slid across the county records. There was a pause, then a cough. Sharon tried to speak, but one of the board members, a guy named Craig, who I think just joined for the free muffins, interrupted her. "I'm sorry, Ms. Culpepper, but these records show violations on our part. We can't enforce rules selectively." Sharon's eye twitched. "Those structures were approved informally before." "Which," I said, "isn't legal under your own governance rules." Dead silence. They dismissed the hearing to review evidence. The next day, the fines were suspended pending further investigation. A week later, I got a letter clearing me of all violations. No apology. Just a single line. Case closed. But I wasn't done. I contacted an attorney who specializes in HOA law. He helped me file a complaint with the state HOA oversight office, citing inconsistent enforcement, targeted harassment, and financial penalties without due process. Sharon was removed from the board within 2 months. Turns out, she had a history of issuing fines that never made it into the official budget, and some administrative fees ended up deposited in a private PayPal account. She tried to play the victim, claimed she was misunderstood and just upholding the rules. But the audit proved otherwise. The HOA had to refund over $18,000 in improperly assessed fines to multiple residents. And the kicker? The HOA had to host a community reconciliation barbecue. They even asked me to bring greenhouse tomatoes. I did, with a smile. But wait, there's a twist. At that barbecue, a guy I'd never seen before walked up and handed me his business card. He was a city code inspector, and apparently, my case had triggered a larger investigation into HOAs abusing power across the county. He told me, "You were the first to really push back. The others were just scared." That's when it hit me this wasn't just about me and a greenhouse. It was about people getting steamrolled by fake authority and buried in paperwork. I still have that greenhouse. The lemon tree's finally alive. And Ellie? She won a science fair ribbon for hydroponics in suburbia. So, to all the Karens with clipboards and all the silent neighbors thinking they don't have a say, read the rules. Know your rights. And never underestimate a pissed-off dad with internet access and a printer. Thanks for listening, and if you've got HOA horror stories or genius clapbacks of your own, drop a comment and share the chaos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you want more real-life legal drama served hot.